Hey guys, Work here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. The video today is going to be a little bit different. So I get questions a lot on the setup of the bench and how I do my recording from over the bench and some of the equipment that I use for different recording in different places. So today, that's what we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over my equipment that I use to be able to record the tutorials, the live chats, and the USPSA videos that you see. So first up behind me is the bench. Now, the bench is just a cheap bench from Harbor Freight. I've got it set up now to be able to do both our tutorials and reviews as well as our live streaming. Now, I was using a laptop to do live streaming, but that got kind of tedious because I ran my laptop and my desktop here. So my desktop it's a relatively powerful desktop. It's an engineering workstation actually from work that I purchased for a really good price and put a hard drive in, so that's what I use now with a nice cheap Craigslist model. Now, as I said, I do live streams here, so we do have a camera up here. This is just like a $30 1080p webcam that I got off of Amazon. I'll put affiliate links in the description down below for all the Amazon stuff for this webcam, the camera that I'm using here, as well as the next piece that I just got for this last live stream that we did, and that is this guy, my new microphone. I actually really like this thing a lot. Now that we're doing live streams more and more often and we're getting more and more people in them, I feel like I need to up the production value for you guys. So I went ahead and bought a microphone, and I feel like the sound in the last live stream was significantly better than it has been recently. I've got a microphone. If I need, I can do other audio bits. I can re-record audio. So I've got that option now. That's going to be really nice. Now, as for other things on the bench, it all just depends on what I'm doing as to kind of how I modify some things. I'll bring you in close here in just a second, and I'll show you how I mount the camera up above the bench. But for now, we'll just go over quick lighting. This is a 4-foot LED bar. I've got 2 LED spotlights, both that are aiming down onto my main work area here. And then I have a halogen light here to be able to get some of that white balance back into the a little bit warmer tone, because if you run too much white or too much yellow, check out my early videos for the yellow problem. The only lamp that I had back then for I think it was the Dolos review maybe, or at least the assembly of the Dolos rifle, that video is just terrible because it was shot on a GoPro with GoPro audio and with this yellow light. But I kept the yellow light there because the LEDs that I've got are like 3500 or something like that LEDs, and that's a little bit too white. So I run the halogen light to be able to warm things up a little bit. I know that I'm washing my face out right now with all this light back here, but it's not going to matter in just a second. Next thing we'll do, I'm going to pull you in. I'm going to show you how I mount the camera for the bench. Then we'll kind of go over some of my camera equipment itself. Okay, so this guy right here is how I mount the camera. This is just a clamp mount. These clamp mounts are really nice. This is actually similar to what it was mounted on before. For the segment I was just doing, so I mount the camera facing straight down. I've got the LCD screen that folds up, so I can fold that up and actually see what my camera is seeing from pretty close up. And then you will notice, however, that if my camera is sitting this way with the top of the camera here facing down, that my images are actually backwards. They're upside down. Well, the way that I fix that is in editing. I toss it in my editing software and I flip it. So where the camera was before, when I was filming my sit-down segment, it was on this. This is another really cool tool. It's just a clamp mount with your camera screw up here. And this thing is really nice to be able to get some, just some kind of unique positions. I've used this a couple of times in USPSA to get camera angles that are more in the center of everything, because, you know, you can just toss these clamps onto barrier walls or onto the rebar sections that hold the fencing and stuff. Okay, so now we'll go over some of the other equipment that I've got before getting to this camera right here. This is just a cheap Harbor Freight kind of Pelican case knockoff, but this is what I carry all my camera gear in when I go to like USPSA and stuff like that. So let me pop this open. We can take a look inside and see what I've got. So I've got a backup point and shoot camera. This one is a Samsung, I don't remember the model name. It's a WB250F. It's pretty good. It does shoot in 1080. It's high definition. A couple of the reasons that I got the new camera was this one does not have a flip-up screen. It's also a touch screen, so you inadvertently touch it a lot. Holding it like this when you're trying to do segments, you end up accidentally hitting that a lot. And the sound wasn't great on this camera. So Also in here, I do, if you see back here, these are spare batteries for the Sony that you're watching this all on right now. I also have 2 GoPros in here. So I've got a GoPro Hero 4 Session. I wasn't so sure about these sessions when I first started this, but I have grown to love this little camera. The size of this thing, and I'll get to more to that here in just a second. The reason that I absolutely love this session is it's about 2/3 of the size of the normal ones, but the weight is the big difference there. The weight of the session is significantly less, and the way that I mount my my cameras for doing USPSA and stuff like that, weight is a big deal because how I mount my cameras is on this guy. So GoPros typically come with this. This is a hat mount for a camera, but the issue is that the hat bill goes in this little C channel, which means the tip of the bill is here and your camera goes here. So your camera is literally sitting out at the end of the bill of your hat. That causes 2 issues. Issue number 1 is the weight at the end of the bill slowly pulls the hat off your head. Not ideal. Issue number 2 is when you turn your head, that weight is significantly further out. Turning your head is both harder on you and harder on the camera. So what I use now is this. This is a clamp. Same idea, it goes on the bill of a hat, but you can see the bill of the hat is going this way, and it places the camera about 1.5 inches to 2 inches back on the bill. So it's much closer up to your head. You don't get the centrifugal force difference when you turn your head, and it doesn't pull the hat off your head the whole time. The picture quality of these is, to me, on par with the full-size GoPros. It just doesn't have as many of the options as the bigger ones do. Frame rate is fixed, no time-lapse, things like that. So, GoPro Hero Session is my kind of go-to for first-person footage. So from there, I got my GoPro itself. My GoPro is a Hero 3 Silver. It's just one of those things that I got, and it does the job, so why change it? It films in 1080, it does a good job. The frame rate's not super high. Would I do better with a new one? Yeah, probably, but this one does the job. This is generally speaking my kind of in danger camera. If something's gonna be dangerous, like when we filmed the test of the Pro for Show safety glasses and we had a camera right up there, this is what we stuck in the way. But then it turned off and didn't film more than like 1 or 2 shots. So we do have that issue. So in here, I've just got batteries and some of the GoPro attachments so that I can basically set up my GoPros however I want them. This one is just a tripod attachment, so I can stick a GoPro on whatever tripod I want. These are extensions. Another cool thing about the tripod adapter is I also have this guy. I do have a time-lapse timer where you turn it and it'll spin your camera and ding at you when it's done. Well, this will let you put a GoPro on there. So that's pretty nifty. And then over here, I also have a standard headband attachment for a GoPro. This is actually what I used the first couple of times we did USPSA, but I like the hat adapter a lot better. This is pretty uncomfortable, but I still carry this with me just as a backup. I also do have a GoPro chest mount somewhere around here. I just don't know where it went. So that is pretty much it for my camera gear. I also do have a full-size tripod. Take that along with me. And again, that GoPro mount lets me use the GoPros on the tripod mount if I want to use it that way. So finally, and I have to do this on my phone because for kind of obvious reasons, is my camera. My camera is a Sony DSC HX80B. Now, it doesn't really shoot 4K, it shoots 1080, but it is at 60 frames per second, which is a relatively good frame rate for the price range of this thing. This thing can range anywhere from about $300 to $250 if you get something along the lines of like a certified refurbished one. Now, this is the orientation that I have it in when I'm recording things on the bench. So you can see that I can see my workspace. Here I've got my fuzzies. Now, fuzzies are kind of a necessity here. You really want fuzzies on your camera mics, especially if you're going to go outside, but even inside. Things like if you're looking too close to this to set up a shot or something, and you drop like a P or a T, you can really blow out your audio if you don't have fuzzies. So fuzzies are extremely useful. And as I said, I've got my flip-up screen here, so that will fold back when I'm using it just in normal camera mode, but it's really nice to be able to have that and be able to flip it up to be able to see my work area here. Now, as far as editing software goes, I use a software called DaVinci Resolve. It's a freeware nonlinear video editing software that it's done everything that I've needed it to do. You know, especially for being free, it is amazing. It is significantly better than like Windows Movie Maker or like the stock video makers. It's actually, I mean, you can make movies on this software. It exports in 4K, 1080, 720. It exports in multiple different file types. So that's what I use for video editing. I love it, and again, it's free, so that's kind of nice. So that's it for this time, guys. Just showing you a little bit of the behind the scenes of WorkTheTrigger. If you guys have any other questions, let me know, and I'll see what I can do as far as getting you guys a little bit more information or specifics on what I do, how I do it, or anything else. Remember, guys, if you found the video useful, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Go ahead and give us a comment and tell us what camera setup you're using if you do anything like this. Remember, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.